What's up, y'all? It's Mr. 6'8" in the house, and I am back with you with a new video. And I want to sit here and first just take a moment of silence and say just a little small prayer for Christina Nance, a lady of Huntsville, Alabama that lost her life. Well, I don't even know if I can say lost her life. A woman that was found in a van, that was left in a van for 2 weeks in front of a Huntsville Police Department public safety parking lot, where police roam the parking lot back and forth to work every day. So let me just furthermore, without further ado, lift up the family in prayer. I, pray to Father God that you watch over this family. This is a difficult time for the family, and it's sad, y'all. It's sad whenever you have a situation like this to where one of your loved ones is found in such a very not so respectful manner. And I can only imagine, after being, in a van for 2 weeks in the hot heat, as far as even if they were able to even have an open casket funeral, I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm going to get into some of the details that happened. And, you all let me know what you think in the comments. So without further ado, roll that beautiful bean footage. We're going to jump right on into it, and I'm going to come back to y'all. All right, so I have a little small timeline. Now that police has released new video footage of what happened, they had a press conference the other day, kind of giving more details into what happened with the disappearance and discovery of Christina Nance. And Deputy, I believe his name is Chief Wayne McCarver, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Deputy Chief Dwayne McCarver did a police footage, news conference rather, discussing some of the details as far as what they found in their investigation. So I'm just going to give a quick timeline really quick, and then I'm going to also show you a video that was picked up by surveillance footage in front of public safety that last showed the as far as the whereabouts of Christina Nance. And then we're just going to kind of jump a little further forward. So here's a timeline of what we do know, just as some of the facts. I'm going to put the timeline up here as well. But the timeline is that the family, according to the family of Christina Nance, they last saw, she was last seen September the 27th, 2021. However, due to the actual police conference that was held by Deputy Wayne McCarver, they said that this contradicts that statement, because they actually has video evidence showing that there was movement in the van even before September the 27th of 2021. They have confirmed, the police, and I saw it, you can't really make out the actual video footage that was, shown in the press conference, but, according to the police, it was said that, she entered the van, or was at least in the parking lot proceeding to enter the van, Christina Nance, on September the 25th at 12:39 p.m. Now, the original video footage they showed in the press conference is 12 hours kind of as far as prior. So the timestamp on the actual video footage may say 12:39 a.m., but it was indeed, because we see daylight, that it was 12:39 p.m. and it was on September the 25th. So just to kind of recap, family said that they last seen her on September the 27th. The police of Huntsville said that that contradicts the statement, because there was movement in the van prior, and after going through hundreds of hours of video footage, the Huntsville Police Department stated that her body was actually, as far as shown, her presence, rather, was shown entering the van on September the 25th, 12:39 p.m. So those are the things that we know for sure. And, I always say that, there's no evidence like video evidence. Now, we can't see it on this video that I'm about to show y'all that it is Christina Nance. However, we can see that there is a person that is believed to be Christina Nance in this actual parking lot entering the van. Take a look.
And again, make sure you note that October 7th is the day that we found her. And so we had to work back all the way from October 7th to now we're on September 25th to be able to find this bit of video that shows her in the parking lot and get into the van.
And is this an HDD surveillance camera?
It's on our building. It's maintained and serviced by the City of Huntsville General Services, so we obviously have access. But
So
those,
it's a city camera?
it is a city camera, correct.
Okay.
This camera is actually a somewhat recent addition within the last couple of years. This camera has been put on the building just to add more video footage for better security. And you can see her out again now, walking.
Chief, is this camera fed anywhere? Does anybody have a monitor where they can look at this?
No, I don't believe we have any kind of, we have so many cameras that we monitor. No one's sitting and watching this specific camera that I'm aware of. No. These are just so that if you have an event and you need to go back and look, you have the ability to do that. You can see she just leaned against the patrol car. We will be providing you with a copy of this. As you can see there, how difficult she is to see at that point.
Is this lot anything in particular? Is it designated in any particular way? Is it a public lot? Is this one your lot? What is this?
So this portion is not a public lot. This side is only HPD vehicles. There's actually a gate arm that you have to have a key card to enter this part of the parking lot. However, as you can see, you can walk into it. Here's where she goes along beside the van. You'll see her go to the rear of the van, and then she doesn't reemerge, and that's where she enters the van.
Okay, so a couple of things I just want to point out. If y'all saw in the video footage, first off, whatever cameras they had as far as in this actual area is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So I did my due diligence to actually go on Google Maps, and I actually found the location of where her body was discovered in the van. And if you go on Google Maps and type in the actual address of the Huntsville Police Department, which is off of Wheeler Avenue, I believe, I'm gonna post a picture right here. And in this photo, you will actually see the van, okay? We see the actual van, even in this photo, which is so creepy. So with that being said, being that you can all clearly see a more visible photo, because the video footage just was not, it wasn't given an assignment for me. It wasn't understanding the assignment. Whoever put those video cameras above that actual department which is said to be the actual entrance right below to the actual records division, as well as internal gym of the actual Huntsville Police Department. It just, you could not make out anything in that video. I'm just gonna be honest. All you saw was a person walking back and forth in between parked cars. They kind of walked towards a tree, then walked back again, kind of leaned against the hood of a car, and then they walked over to the van. And according to the actual press conference, once the person walked over to the van that's believed to be Christina Nance, they were no longer in sight, and that's the last we seen of her. So fast forward, okay, now that we have that out of the way, the police actually discovered the body of Christina Nance on October the 7th. So this is all kind of given to you an actual timeline of, you know, as far as from the time of when her family stated that she supposedly disappeared, according to when the actual police department in Huntsville stated that they saw the video footage that contradicts that statement, which was just a day or two earlier that they saw her enter the, you know, as far as the van. It's just a whole lot of moving parts, but she was discovered on October the 7th. Now, from October the 7th to September the 25th is when she was actually seen as far as entering the van and being discovered. So this is like, what, 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks, give or take. And they said that according to the actual person that discovered her, they saw that there were shoes right below an actual window that was popped open, because you got to keep in mind, this is an older van. And just to kind of give you some details on the van was purchased in 1995. So that just goes to show how old the van was. And back then, I don't know if you all remember, but those vans, they kind of had like the push out windows with the latch, you know, like you see on some school buses. You can actually push against the window and it kind of gives ventilation. So apparently they saw shoes underneath a window that was pushed out and on this van, and that's how the person discovered. The police that, you know, gave the conference, they never mentioned that there was a smell or odor. They mentioned that, you know, they never heard any screams, calls for helps. Other facts I want to give is that according in the press conference that was released to the public, it has been stated that this parking lot where this van was, the only way you can get into this parking lot by vehicle, that is through an actual arm that has like a arm that lets up and down. You have to scan your badge, you know, for security purposes. But if you don't have that method as far as entering into this parking lot where her body has been stated to have been found, you could just easily walk in. And as you all seen in the picture that I posted, you can easily just walk across the grass and walk into the parking lot and you're in there. So there's no like gates around or anything like that to actually protect the area from, you know, outsiders. So this is an easily accessible area for people to just come and go as they please. Now, another thing I wanted to also mention is that, you know, just from my thought process, and because these were some of the questions that the actual reporters had mentioned at the press conference, which was that the actual van, you know, it was kind of backed up into a corner. Another fact is that this van was actually used to obtain arrestees that couldn't get into a normal patrol car. Like, I guess maybe if you have some kind of disability or you was injured, they could transport these arrestees in a van. Another fact about the van is that in the early 2000s, the Madison County actually repurposed the van when they took over detention services, and they actually used the van for, like, you know, just, you know, transporting, whether it's like records, or you know, just whatever the case. However, the original design of the van was stated to be that once you're inside the van, unless you're in the front seat, you cannot get out of the van. The van was designed because you got to keep in mind, back in 1995 up until the early 2000s, it was stated that the van could not be open from inside out because you didn't want prisoners just roaming and falling out, you know, on the ground, rolling down the interstate, trying to, you know, escape. So once you're inside the van, it was stated that you could not exit the van because it was not designed like that. It was built to actually keep prisoners in the actual van and from escaping. So this is what led up to people stating as far as how, you know, as far as the police coming to the conclusion where she must have just walked into the van, stepped into the van, and she couldn't get out, and that was that. once again, you would think that somebody would scream for help. If I'm in a van, even if I'm under the influence, you would think that a person would still make some noise. Not saying that she was under the influence, because there's no toxicology report yet that has came back from the actual police department. There was an autopsy done by the police department, quotation marks, and according to that autopsy report, they said that there was no signs of foul play, no signs of blunt force trauma, no signs of bruises, nothing like that. So, and that's just a preliminary report. Once again, it has also been stated that the family wants their own autopsy report, which I understand, because, it does seem a little fishy, right? I mean, we still, first of all, we don't know what was she doing there. Like, what was it that she was doing there that made her just wander into the parking lot? That's the first thing. The second thing is, because of it's so much stuff that has happened in the past, such as with the Kanika Jenkins case. You all remember when she walked into the freezer, people couldn't figure out what was a young, gorgeous girl walking into the freezer, just roaming around. Nobody saw it. Like, it was one of those things. And being that we've already seen how those things play out, I can understand why the family would want their own autopsy report. Christina Nance, she was a 29-year-old gorgeous, woman. It has been stated that up until March, until I'm not sure of the actual date, but, of course, somebody, tried to make it seem like that, because of her arrest records, which, any of the crimes that she may have committed or was arrested for was nothing like serious crimes, maybe like, trespass and stuff like that. People tried to mention that, she was arrested 12 times in the past. The police were familiar with her. They also stated in the press conference that there's a crisis intervention team, if I recall correctly, that has also worked with her, and that the last time that they actually seen her was back in March, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on this, but they did mention and they alluded to that, she may have been dealing with some kind of mental type of issues that could also maybe be a reason to give explanation fast forward to present day. But in the press conference, which I did not upload the entire thing of, if you go back and actually watch the actual 22-minute press conference, which you can find on YouTube, I did commend the fact that at least the deputy who, McGarver, that actually gave the press conference, he even stated, he was like, he doesn't want to initiate or indicate that this person, was just a troubled person, or that just because they was in trouble with the law in the past that they deserve, as far as, what happened to them. Like, he definitely made it be known that this person, Christina Nance, 29 years old black woman, is a victim. And I commended him for that, because, normally, oftentimes, people be so quick, especially in media, to always bring up a person's arrest record when it has nothing to do with present day. So he did mention that, just to be fair, even though we as the people, the family, still has questions on the passing of this gorgeous woman. But it has been stated, he did state that, he didn't want to paint her out anything other than this is a victim. And they too wanted to get to the bottom of it. In the press conference, it was also stated that they own up to the fact that normally all of the police cars that are on property normally are all locked up. However, with that being said, for whatever reason, the back doors of this van was not locked. It has also been, stated, because people do talk, the person that discovered her, I don't know if they have actually interviewed him yet. I do know that, he was the person that I guess went and got help once he discovered, say, hey, there's shoes underneath the van. When he looked inside the van, he saw the body. But my biggest thing is that I just didn't understand, if a body has been in Alabama heat, and for anybody that lives in South Georgia, South Alabama, period, Florida, you all know that this heat is no joke, even coming up to now in the fall time. If the windows were pushed out, ventilated, you definitely should have smelled the sign of death. Now, I don't know how fast the body is considered to be as far as in a stage of decomposing, but you definitely would have smelled something, I would think. They also stated that, if there was a security detail, the reporters asked if there was a security detail that actually detailed the property or the premises, as far as just to make sure nothing fishy is going on. And the deputy gave the answer that there's no security detail because of the fact that, we have they have officers that actually, come in and out, going to the gym, going to the records department, which is where the camera that caught her on, tape was located at. So there was no need for security detail because you already have officers on the actual property. So those are kind of some of the things that we do know. And like I said, it's just sad that, this young person, gorgeous woman lost her life. And I can't do anything but just pray that, she gets justice for whatever may have happened to her, or that the family gets closure. As of recently, it has been stated that a well-known attorney that represented Ahmaud Arbery, Ben Crump, will be the person representing them as well. So he will be their attorney going forward, and taking over as far as assisting with the investigation to try to get answers as to what happened, in this case. But I think other than that, y'all, that's about all that we know right now. I'm sure that as the story develops, more stuff will come out. But, a lot of people on the social media, at first, this story was not getting the attention that I felt like it deserved. And I didn't even realize that it was even a story until I just happened to be on Facebook and somebody reshared the post. And, that troubles me because just a couple of weeks ago, we had Gabby Petito, national covered story all over you couldn't turn on a channel anywhere, and here it is. We got a young, and I'm not trying to make this about, as far as anything, politics, whatever, race. I'm just saying that you got certain people that have gotten way more national attention than other cases, and I feel like every person deserves that kind of attention, especially when you got something to this magnitude. So I was actually happy to see this get traction and get the actual attention that it deserved, because there are still unanswered questions. My biggest question is that how did she even end up at the police station in the first place? Like did she walk from her house to the police station? Maybe I missed something in the story, but I didn't see anywhere. It just said that she was roaming in the parking lot, and that was it. How did she even get there in the first place? Did she walk down the street? And then, seeing her siblings on the news, and, I'm going to show you the video in a second. It's just sad, knowing that you got a sibling out there and you wake up and this person is no longer here on earth. And, like I said, not just her, but even her siblings are just gorgeous. Take a look.
And we won't push for my sister.
Christina Nance family says they're not accepting the recent update in her death investigation. 29-year-old Nance was found inside a Huntsville Police van last week at the station parking lot. HPD says in part, investigators have spent the days following the discovery of Miss Nance reviewing surveillance video to try to determine when Miss Nance entered the van in our parking lot, end quote. They say they will also continue working with the family.
So we will have our own private autopsy in the next few days. Our sweet Christina is dead, and they can't give us an answer.
Here's what the family says they remember most about Christina.
Every time she'll come in a room with us, or we'll come by to see her, she'll just smile, and we'll always be like, Christina, hey Christina, and she'll just smile and just light up a room. Not only that, but she also had a bright personality. She was real respectful, shy. She loved to sing, dance. So for something like this to happen to our sister is devastating. Knowing that we have to wake up every day and not see my sister, and just to know that she's not coming home, that she's not coming back.
So yeah, so as you can see, you know, the family is hurting. They have also set up a GoFundMe, which I will post down in my description if you want to donate, you know, to help towards the cost of funeral expenses, as well as, you know, they're wanting to do another autopsy. So I will keep you all updated, but you all, this is just a story that does not make sense to me. It just seems really bizarre. Out of all the places a person is found deceased, in the one place that you would think will offer the most protection, and as frequently as this parking lot, as they stated in the press conference, is filled up with just various officers, people coming in and out, nobody noticed this van. So you all let me know what you think. Post it in the comments. I will keep you all updated if any new developments take place. But until next time, my fun sizers, you all be blessed. Peace.